Hello, this is Dr. Eileen, and this is Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So I hope everybody's had a good week. I hope everybody's doing well. And I just want to make sure that the camera is just a little tilted. Okay. So anyway, as I said, I hope everybody had a good week. I hope things are going, reasonably smoothly. And for whoever it was that won the great, big, gigantic, over $1 billion lottery, fair play to you. And I hope that it brings you joy, and I hope you're able to use that to help out those, who are in need. So as the lottery mania was going nuts, and of course, heck, I bought my tickets. And the thing is that when we're in a situation where we can think, I could have anything that I want, it gets the old imagination going. And today we're going to be talking about that. That's why I called this episode 3 Wishes. So I posed on Twitter this morning, what would you do if you were given 3 wishes, but the condition was that they had to be completely selfish? I know everybody would wish for, world peace, or, an end to illness, or things for people that we love. But the agreement or the requirement would be that they had to be 3 wishes that were completely self-serving, completely selfish. And yeah, I started thinking about that because, of course I go into the direction of, well, how many people could I help with this? Who could I make life easier for? And sometimes it is tough because we're kind of trained to think that, selfishness is a bad thing. And there are those who take it in that direction, and it's like, okay, that's why, you don't want to be selfish. But everything has a light and shadow, and that includes selfishness. So just for the sake of imagination, I would like to encourage you to think, what would be your 3 selfish wishes? What would it be that it would be just for you? And and it could be anything. So when I was considering, it's like, okay, if I could get 3 wishes, not just lottery win. And see, I know there are people that's like, well, I wish I would have won the lottery. Honestly, no one wants to win the lottery. And I'll explain why. You don't want the lottery, you want the things that we believe that lottery win will give us. So that's still a separation from what it is that you actually want. Maybe you want to win the lottery because you want a giant house, or you want a whole bunch of land, or you want to have a business, or you want to be a philanthropist, or you just never want to have to worry about money again, all your bills paid. But it's not the lottery that you want, it's the stuff that the lottery will bring you. And let's say that, this magical creature, whatever it is, was able to give you that, was able to say, okay, this is what you could have anything. And sometimes it's scary to be offered anything. Sometimes it's, because I was talking to some people about this, and they actually had a hard time with the concept of, no, honestly, it could be anything. You could have anything. And there's still that instinct to, it's like, well, I'd really like to pay off my student loan. It's like, no, we're talking anything. So if you could have anything, but it had to be something that served you and made you happy, and no, it's like, well, helping others would make me happy. I would probably, because it's only fair that I share mine. So what I chose was, first, that I would have the ability to turn into any creature I wanted to. I know, weird, but ever since I was little, I always wanted that ability. 2, to have the physical form of my dreams. And three, let's see, what was three? Oh, three was to be able to have the fame and fortune that would allow me to do anything I want for anybody I want. And that does go into that zone of, oh, well, you're picking something that you're doing for somebody else, but, hey, we'll go with the fame and fortune first. So, yeah, and I had to think, it's like, wow, it's nice to imagine what would I want if I could, just have that. And then I thought of, okay, what would the next step to that be? I mean, since obviously, we did not get three wishes, but we know what the three things that we would most want for ourselves is. So pick one. Whatever you thought of, pick the one that would be the most possible. And what would you be able to do in order to achieve it? How can you consider, okay, this would be my wish? If I wanted to have, you know, fame and fortune, it's like, well, yeah, it may take a while. And, it takes work and commitment. I mean, because everybody who has fame and fortune had to work at it and had to, well, I guess unless you won the lottery, because then, you'd be famous and you'd have fortune. But other than that, just in general, you have to work for it. You have to work hard for it. So, okay, but that's still possible. Um, the physical form of my dreams? Well, yeah, that's possible. That also takes work. So, how much work are you willing to put in to have your dreams come true? What if you could actually manifest one of your wishes on your own? I mean, okay, the ability to turn into any creature I want to. That's probably not going to be on the list of things that I'm going to be able to do, but I can, be able to meditate and imagine what it would be like. So that's probably about as close as I'm going to get to that. But, the other two actually would be something that with work and research and commitment, yeah. There's a saying, the only place where success comes before work is the dictionary. So the idea of what are you willing to put yourself into? Maybe your dream is to have that big, amazing, wonderful house. Well, it's not impossible. The question is, how can you manifest that in your life? How can you be able to say, okay, that's what I want? And I would guess the first step to that would be figuring out, it's like, okay, if I could point out a house that I would want, what would be a part of that house? Because, maybe you want to, oh, well, I want a big, beautiful house. Be more specific. I want a big, beautiful house in the mountains, or I want a big, beautiful house near the beach, or I want a big, beautiful house, in San Francisco, or in, wherever. But the thing is that when we start looking at the wishes that we want to make come true, then we have to get really, really specific. We have to say, okay, what exactly do I want? If I want the physical form of my dreams, what exactly does that mean? What is the weight? What are the measurements? Am I talking about stamina? Do I want to be like, building muscles, or do I want to, be able to be flexible and, maybe be able to do yoga and stuff? So in looking at what I want, then I start thinking, it's like, okay, what can I do to get that? It's like, okay, well, you got to eat healthy, and you got to exercise, and you have to be patient, and you have to, like maybe work with somebody who really knows about nutrition to find out, it's like, okay, what's the best thing for me to be able to, the best way for me to be able to get this thing? If you want to, I mean, superhero powers notwithstanding, let's say you want to be able to go back to school. Maybe that would be your wish. Man, I wish I could go back to school and become a doctor, or become a lawyer, or an artist. Maybe your dream or your wish would be, I wish that I could do art, or I wish that I could sing, or I wish I was a famous actor or actress. Well, okay, there are a lot of options to be able to make those things happen. Every single one of them involve work. Every single one of them involves a commitment to make something that is important to you happen. They will involve sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice your time. You're going to have to, really commit. If I want to, have that rockin' body, I'm really going to have to commit to that. And I've moved myself into that direction, and I'm working on that piece. So, probably in about another year, yeah, I should have the form that I want. And, considering I'm already 56, it's like, well, that's not so bad. 57 ain't so bad. But the thing is that over that time, I have to stay committed to what it is that I want to do, which is what we all have to do when we want to make a wish happen. Let's say your wish is to find that perfect mate. And, good luck to you. But the thing is, you want to find that perfect mate. You have to figure out, okay, where would my perfect mate be? Now, and again, you got to get specific. You can't just say, oh, my perfect mate. It's like, okay, who is your perfect mate? You need to write down the list of, what are those qualifications? What are those things that I look for? What would be a perfect mate for me? Maybe you're someone who works a lot of hours, so you would need your perfect mate would be able to understand that, your job requires a lot of work. Maybe your perfect mate is someone who loves to travel. Maybe your perfect mate is someone who's very physically active or who loves to cook or whatever. So you have to figure out, if you want to find that perfect mate, who is that person? Where would they most likely be? If your perfect mate shares your passion for hockey, you're probably, going to need to go someplace like a hockey game or like a hockey meetup group or something like that. You're going to need to go where that person would be in order to be able to meet them. And, there's a lot of ways to be able to connect in, with the interest groups. So I would focus first on what is it that perfect person, based on, the list you write up, based on what you say that you're looking for, what is it that perfect person would be doing? What would that perfect person's, typical weekend look like? If you're a perfect person, if you always dreamed of marrying, a professional person, then yeah, it's, if you want to meet that person, you got to go into that field and you've got to make connections there. So let's say your dream would be to, travel to, you've always wanted to go to England or go to Africa or, South America, or pick a continent. Um, if there's a particular country you wanted to go to, or maybe you've always wanted to go on a cruise. Okay, be more specific. Where do you want to go on a cruise to? Um, what type of amenities are you looking for? What type of experience are you looking for? Then you can start to put it together. It's like, okay, what's my budget? How can I be able to save up for this? What are the opportunities that would allow me to be able to do this? Can I put it together with a group or at least one other person and we share the expenses? Maybe your dream is to get into an RV and drive across country. Well, yeah, you can do that. Where do you want to go? How far do you want to travel? How much do you have to pay for gas? How much gas will you need? So, yes, while it would be easy to have some sort of creature that can come up and say, okay, well, here's everything. And that's the trap. That's the, you know, there is something that is so empowering about working for something. There is something that is so important about that building process. When, when you're just handed something, I mean, yes, it's cool, it's exciting, and believe me, I totally get that sometimes just getting one of those gimmies from the universe is really great right when you need it. And there's something that is so wonderful about working towards something, to be able to build it with your own two hands, to it's like that, the old montage type of thing, because in the old movies, especially in the 80s, it's like, you go into the montage and you have these little tiny clips with this inspirational music in the background, and it shows the whole progress of the building process, and then at the end it's like, yay, we've got our goal. So the idea is that it's those things that we build up to making that wish happen, to making that dream come true. Because once we get there, I mean, okay, maybe you take that trip, maybe you find that perfect mate, maybe you get that rockin' bod, or whatever it is. But once you have it, then what? What do you want then? And if you have taken that process and taken it from like step one, and you can look back over the experience and say, man, there were those times when I thought I wouldn't make it, but I did. This is great. This is awesome. This is exciting. And you can, when you talk to people about it, it's like, oh yeah, well, I got a whole bunch of money, so I did all this cool stuff. That's not quite as interesting a story as, well, and I started off from the beginning and I built it myself, and it was amazing, and it was exciting, and I evolved through it. I grew through this process, so that when I got that thing that I wanted more than anything else, I knew it was mine. And it was just, it was so real. And as you're going through that, once you get to that goal, then you can say, it's like, wow, I learned all this stuff to get to here. Where do I want to go now? What's the next goal? How can I use what I learned to achieve this to take it to the next level? And if you're handed it, if you get that magical creature who hands it to you, there was no growth. There was no, I mean, you got what you wanted, but now what? In order to take it to the next level, in order to, grow from that, there's all that growth that happened beforehand that was missing. So, yeah, I totally am with you on, what, sometimes it would be nice just to be able to wish for something and have it happen. And, for those of you who are going for the superpowers, or who want to, meet elves, or, whatever, you can go enjoy some cosplay and, Dungeons and Dragons. It rocks. So, but the idea of really making that fundamental wish, what's that wish inside your heart? What's that thing inside of you? And it's like, man, I would really love to have that. Because keep in mind, if you work for it, one day you're going to have it. But then, what's your plan? Because often, when I was going to chiropractic college, and at first I thought, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just this. No, I'm not going to be able to do this. I can't do this. And there were even times when it's like, that's it. This is my last quarter. I can't do it. And then I'd have a couple of weeks off, and then I'd see the schedule for the next classes, and it's like, well, maybe one more quarter. And quite honestly, I maybe one more quartered my way through chiropractic college. But then, as I was getting to the point of graduating, I started thinking, it's like, wow, I was so intent upon the idea of graduating, and then all of a sudden I started thinking, wow, what next? I'm going to need to do something with this. What kind of practice do I want? How do I want to build, what the next step is? So then, before I had totally completed, I mean, I had reached that point where it's like, yes, I will be graduating. I've got one more quarter, and I will graduate. I've got all the stuff I need done. So once the urgency of what I needed to do, was less. When pretty much it was set, it just wasn't quite done. Before I reached that, I had already started thinking about, okay, what's the next step? What am I going to put in place for that next leap? So I really think wishes need to go like that. Because, you work hard, you get your wish, you accomplish your goal, fantastic. And what next? What else? What will be the next goal? What will be the next wish? Because, you can have as many wishes as you want, because you're the one who's going to be creating them. And whatever it is that you want to commit yourself to, it's like, well, maybe you want to, play piano. Well, yeah, you're going to have to practice and get good at it. And, maybe you learn to play the piano really well, but then the next dream is, you know what? I want to perform. I want to be a part of a musical group. Well, then, that's a brand new wish that's starting up. And it's great to have those brand new wishes that are kind of sitting in the wings and are there and are going to be able to be that next big thing you do. Because we need something. We need that challenge. We need that, okay, I've got that, and that was great, and that was wonderful, but what next? Keep challenging yourself. Keep raising the gradient. Because that's how we get to use all the wonderful stuff we learned through the process of achieving our last wish. It's not, about the wish, whether or not it's possible. Figure something out that, okay, well, this wish I actually could do. I just don't know how to do it, but technically I could do it. And then you build from there. Take it out of the realm of, I don't know if I can do it, but come from the point of view, I can do this, I just don't know how yet. But there's a way. Look at other people who have done it. If they can do it, why can't you? So embrace that aspect of the dream. Embrace that aspect of what it is that your wish would be. Because maybe you don't need a magical creature to make your dreams come true and make your wishes come true. Maybe you just need to be a little more specific, and you need to give yourself credit for the fact that you are smart enough, you are resourceful enough, and you are committed enough and tenacious enough to be able to get your own wish. My wish for you is that you find a way to make your wishes come true. Because we all got to wish for something. We all have to have that thing that we would love to bring into our lives. And then have the faith that, you know what, if I commit myself to it, in my belief system, I believe that, there is a creator out there who, if I commit to something, will help me and meet me halfway. It's like, okay, you do your part, I'll do mine. However you hold that, whatever you believe. But trust that there are forces in the universe that when you commit yourself to something, that they're there to help. Good luck. And please, post in the comments what it is that you would like your wish to be. And let me know how you're doing with it. And if you need encouragement, I am totally there to encourage you. Because I know you can do it. And I'll keep you posted on the work I'm doing on my wishes. So, thank you for joining me. We'll be back next week. And if you would like to support this channel, and if this video resonated with you, you can like it, you can share it, you can subscribe because it's always fun seeing more subscribers come in. You can comment because I do check the comments and I do respond. And you can also follow me on Twitter, and you can join my Facebook group, Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen. And if you really, really want to be an exciting part of one of my wishes coming true, you can sponsor me on Patreon, and the link is in the description. So, thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you. Bye.